All right, here we go. Maddie McCormick. This is my very first time doing an interview on this channel, so I am honored that you said yes and agreed to do this. I'll let you kind of give your background, but for me, I met Maddie working on a film recently with her in Chicago called A Snowbound Christmas, and she was so delightful to work with as a human and just extraordinarily talented. I just thought she probably had a lot of tips and pieces of wisdom that she could share with the folks who follow this channel. So I just want to chat with her and ask her a few questions. Welcome, Maddie.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be your first ever interviewee and also your first ever on-screen romance. So lucky me. Um, but yeah, I'm so glad we got to make this movie together. And yeah, I live in LA. I'm initially from Chicago. And it was actually really fun being back in Chicago because I've never filmed anything before, but I grew up there. So um, yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Very cool. So,
Mhm.
you have worked a lot, and, I believe you have an episode coming out on Thursday, don't you?
I do. Wow, you did
Why
your
don't you tell us,
research.
why don't
Look
you
at
tell us about
you.
that?
Look at you. Yeah, I got to do a fun guest star role on season 2 of Beef, which is coming out this Thursday. I had a friend who does red carpet interviews, and she actually messaged me and she was like, I got my early screeners and you're fantastic in it, which is always nice to hear. You never know if you're gonna get cut around or not. But yeah, I have a fun role. The Kaylee Spaney and Charles Melton, they're fantastic, and they end up in the hospital in one of the episodes, and I'm a not so nice ER nurse that deals with them.
Nice.
Uh-huh. I
Well,
know. You'll
fun.
see some of my snarky side, but yeah, it was
I have
really.
seen some of your snarky side.
Oh, have you? I
I'm
thought I was
kidding.
delightful.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Only in character. Only in character.
So yeah, I played not such a nice character in this one. But yeah, it was very cool. My one of my friends, Phineas, he actually scored season 2, and I saw him recently, and he was like, "You're great in it," which is always so nice to hear. Like when you run into people and you're like, "Oh, thank God." So it's really cool to be part of a show that you like fangirl over. Like I loved
Mhm.
season 1, so it
Yeah.
was really really cool to be on that set. And it's shot in LA.
Very cool. Very
Hmm.
cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's rare that I get to shoot in LA now. So
I
it's always
know.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So tell us a little bit about like when you knew you wanted to be an actor.
Um, Essentially, since I could talk, I really liked attention. And I realized pretty quickly that if I performed, people would watch me.
Hmm.
And my grandmother was an actress. So she was in Actors Equity. She lived in New York. She helped reopen the Globe Theater in the Shakespeare Globe Theater in London. So I grew up watching her on stage in Chicago. And when she was in her 70s, she played this amazing matriarch in this play called The Curious Savage. And she literally dyed her hair blue at 70 years old when she was like dating at that point because she had been divorced. And I thought that was just the coolest thing ever that she was just walking around with blue hair. And I got to see her perform, and she was just unbelievable. So I just always had the acting bug. It's always what I wanted to do. I would have been a child actor like Allegra if my parents would have let me. Absolutely.
Wow. That had to be so cool. Like, I didn't have anyone in my family that was into acting at all.
Hmm.
Um, but did your grandmom like did she talk to you about acting
Oh yeah,
and
I would get to go backstage at and my mom said, because these plays were above my head at this point. Like I don't, and she said anytime the audience was laughing, you would laugh so hard so that your grandmother knew you were like laughing at the joke. And she's like, you wouldn't know what the joke was, like you wouldn't get the joke, but you just had to be the one to be like, I'm here and I'm laughing. Um,
uh
Yeah, we were so, I was telling you, I think on set that we were so close. And I hadn't been back I was staying in Lake Forest, which is where she lived my entire, life. And I hadn't been back there since she passed away. And so I was just like really missing her and really like feeling her presence because I grew up watching her on stages in Lake Forest. So
wow.
yeah, she was really, really special. She trained under Uta Hagen, which is also so cool.
That is amazing. So you're
Isn't that
like from acting royalty.
Isn't that so crazy? And Uda used to tell her because she didn't have good projection on stage, and so Uda used to yell at her, We can't hear you, and maybe it's better that we can't, was like the thing that, isn't that crazy? Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
That is amazing. Wow.
hmm
Did your grandma get to see you start your acting career?
She went to every single one of my productions growing up, every single one. So I did a lot of theater in Chicago. But unfortunately, my first on-camera role was a year after she passed. So she didn't
Mm.
ever, but her she remarried, and my step grandfather was so wonderful, and he would go when I would have a movie in theaters, he would go and send me a picture, and like so
Uh,
it was really sweet. But yeah, unfortunately she never got to see me on screen act.
well, she got to see you on stage.
Exactly. She got to see
Yeah.
a lot of me on stage.
um, Tell us how so you've wanted to act since you were a little
Mhm.
bitty thing.
Yes.
How did your acting journey begin?
So I was really lucky that, I mean, Chicago is incredible for theater. And I had so many, community theater opportunities, which was really wonderful, and my parents really encouraged it. So I started in Lake Forest Children's Theater and Winnetka Children's Theater, and then I went to high school at New Trier, which is like the really big public school there, but they have an amazing performing arts program. A lot of like very big, like Anne Margaret went to New Trier and was in their performing arts program. And more recently, oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? Dwight from The Office.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
like we have some amazing alumni, and so our theater program is really developed. So I studied there, and then I also studied at Jeremy Piven's theater. He has a theater out there, and Second City, so improv.
Fun.
hmm
When did you make your move to LA?
literally as soon as I could. Since I could talk, I told my parents like I want to move to California. I want to be an actor, and so I only applied to colleges in California. And when I got into UCLA, I was like, "Yep, this is it. I'm going to LA." And so I went to UCLA and I studied psychology and film. I didn't want to do a theater conservatory. I wanted to do TV film, and so I knew if I was in a theater conservatory that I wouldn't be able to get an agent or manager probably until I graduated because I
Hmm.
had friends in the program, and if you booked a job, you had to drop out. I had a friend that had to drop out, and whereas I was able to start getting guest stars while I was in college and not have to drop out of my program.
Wow.
hmm
Did so? Did you do training, actor training outside of UCLA or
I
primarily
did.
school?
I studied at Lee Strasberg was the first place that I went to.
Hmm.
And it was very different. It was very like methody, very different than anything I had done. But I
Hmm.
realized pretty quickly that I needed TV film training because I had never done that. I'd just done theater. And
Right.
so the biggest, like the most important coach to me was Leslie Kahn out here. Did you ever study at
Mhm.
Leslie's?
For a little short time. Yeah.
Okay. She really, really shaped my career. She really helped me understand how to act for TV and film in a way that
Mhm.
and she helped me understand genre, and she helped me understand, what was currently casting. And her like non-method method is still the method that I use for all my prep, all my auditions, all my work on camera.
Wow.
Mhm.
Why don't you describe that a little bit for folks who don't know what that is?
So she calls it a non-method method because her method is all thought-based. And as people, we have, millions of thoughts a day. It's just the
Hmm.
second that we become actors that we like get all stilted and weird, and and so her whole approach is having a thought about whatever is just said or done in the scene in the given circumstances, genre, and relationship you're in. That's it. That's the whole method, is just having a point
Hmm.
of view, but about whatever is just being said to you. So not
Hmm.
pre-planning anything, but knowing what relationship you're in, what point of view you're having, and being very present with that, and allowing yourself to, as she says, judge the fuck out of whatever is going on. Because we do that as people all
Hmm.
the time. We judge
Absolutely.
everything.
Some more than others.
Was that a jab?
No, that's me. I'm very judgy. No, you were very not that way. I can do that. Yeah, it's interesting. I studied theater in
Mhm.
college, and man, it was a rough transition for me. I
Mhm.
think I told you on set that the very first time I saw myself on screen
Mhm.
was on the big screen in a theater. It was a,
That's
it was a
crazy.
low budget movie, and
Crazy
some
though.
poor fella had cast me in a major role in this film. And I just remember leaving set every day thinking, I nailed that. I felt that. I'm sitting there in the movie theater watching the screening, and I'm like, oh my God, I
Oh
am
God.
horrible. And
Yeah.
I just couldn't understand why
Mhm.
it felt so good inside. All
Mhm.
my internal stuff felt great.
Yep.
But what appeared on camera, I looked like a clown. Like I was doing a Ronald McDonald impression, but this was
Oh
like a
my
serious
God.
drama. It was
Yeah.
terrible. And it's interesting, like for me, I took a lot of classes and various things,
Hmm.
but there's a guy named Jack Plotnick who I studied with who really changed my view and kind of in a very similar way that like look at the scene, look at the genre, look at the relationships, but I don't plan anything.
Yeah.
It's like I just let surprises happen.
Mhm.
And I look back to when I started, when I planned every little tiny
Yep.
thing,
Yep.
and it was so not fun.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm sure it was not fun to watch. There was no surprises happening at all.
Hmm.
I'm sure casting directors or whomever happened to be watching my auditions felt the way I feel when I watch like a fourth grade play, and it's
Yes.
like, what
Yep.
are you doing today? It's
Yes,
just so
yes,
terrible.
yes, yes.
And it's funny when I just threw that away and just started being present in the moment and
Hmm.
and just being surprised by what happened,
Yep.
it just made it more fun for me. And I think that for me, fun is like, why?
Yep.
If it's
Yeah.
not fun, do something else.
Totally. I mean, our whole business is playing make believe. So if you're not enjoying it, you're probably doing it wrong, to some extent.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, the first time I met Leslie and I like, she does like this triage thing where you act for her. And she like stares at me for a second and she's like, "Where did you go to school?" And I was like, "UCLA." And she's like, "Mm-hmm." She's like, "Okay, you give way too many fucks." She's like, "You care about everything." And she's like, "I think everything that got you to do well in school is fucking up your acting," is what she told me.
Mhm.
Also, am I
Mhm.
allowed to curse on this?
Certainly.
Okay, great. I ask
I
after it.
personally don't ever cuss in real life. So, but yeah, you can.
I didn't know this. Wait, what? Okay.
Of course I do.
I was like, what? I was like, wait, I'm
Yes.
pretty sure.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, she really had to undo a lot of what you were saying of like, I would do this like cute pre-planned line reading of like, I'm adorable. Here's my cute little show for you. And she was like, you're not being a person. You're not connecting with me. You're not listening. Listening is like
Mhm.
the big thing that I was missing. It was like, I'm going to be in my own little acting world and I'm not going to look at you at all. I'm not going to listen
Mhm.
to what you're saying. I'm not going to let it affect me because I've already pre-planned everything I've said. Like
Yeah.
exactly what you were saying. So,
It's just so crazy how similar our paths were. Like,
hmm
I remember years ago going into an in-person audition and I was so like I'd planned every little thing out, right? It was a scene where in the scene, my wife of like 5 years is going to ask me for a divorce. And
hmm
I knew exactly how I was going to respond to it. I had my
Yep,
emotional
yep,
substitute. Yeah, I had everything.
yep.
And I remember walking in there and sitting down,
Hmm.
and literally my soul would stand up, step to the side, and judge myself as I did the scene.
Yep.
And as I'm doing the scene, I'm doing like a running commentary on everything I'm doing wrong and everything that I
Hmm.
didn't do that I was planned to do.
Hmm.
And I remember like I'm thinking, okay, she's about to ask me for a divorce. Let me think about my grandma who died
Yes,
so I can
yes,
do real
yes,
estate. You know what I
yes,
mean? All this stuff, like
yes, yes,
completely not
yes,
there.
yes.
And the scene ended, and my soul stepped back in my body. And I remember going downstairs and walking the parking lot. And I ran to an actor buddy of mine who was getting ready to go to the same casting director.
Yep.
And he said, how'd it go? And I was able to tell him everything I did wrong. The weird way I was holding my hand,
Yep.
every line
Yep.
that I stumbled over,
Yep.
the fact that I was supposed to cry at this particular moment, but I didn't cry.
Hmm. Hmm.
And he said to me, doesn't she have the most beautiful eyes? And I remember looking at him thinking, I have no idea.
Yes.
Because 100% of my attention
Yep.
was
Was on
on
yourself.
me
Yep.
and not on the woman that I'm supposed to be madly in love with and I'm celebrating our 5 year anniversary. You know what I mean? Like I was so, and it hit me like, what am I doing? Like I'm supposed to be a human being connecting to another human being
Yes. Yes.
and throwing all that away.
Hmm.
If I do an audition, I mean, I'll tape, but uh, when I threw away that planning and, like I go to callback and my manager would always call me and say, hey, how'd it go? I'm like, I have no idea,
Yeah.
but I had fun,
Yep.
right? Like
Yep.
I have no idea what I did.
Yep.
Um, but man, it just opened it up and it made me I felt alive in my acting when I stopped playing. And I always tell folks it's kind of like when you first start doing that, it's like someone blindfolds you and walks you to a pool and steps you on a diving board and says, jump.
It's
Trust
jumping
me,
off a
there's
cliff.
water.
It's jumping
Yeah.
off a cliff.
And you
Absolutely.
just have to trust there's water, right? Because there always is. And
Hmm.
for film and TV, if there's not, they'll do another take. So it's all
Yeah.
it's all good
Yeah.
anyway.
It's
Uh,
so true.
yeah.
It's
So
Yeah, and the way that, the way that set works, you're not having time to like get in the zone and feel all the things and like as there's a boom right here like this in your big emotional moment. So if you need to like feel certain things, it's probably not gonna happen, you know?
mhm. Right, right.
Yeah.
Uh, so, uh, now, do you continue to train or you
Yeah,
focus
so
on
I do. So I think like one of the most important things that you can do as an actor is to like find a community of people that you can regularly fail in front of. Because
it?
there are a lot of stakes that are very high and you're in rooms or like sending in tapes. You need a room where you can just be really bad. You need a room
Right.
where like you can just swing hard, fall on your ass and like really be bad. And so I'm always studying and always with a group of people that I feel safe to do that with so that I can learn and I can like learn how to use my instrument and like try different genres, try different accents, and be really, really bad in stakes that don't matter. So right now, I'm currently studying at John Rosenfeld, which is actually he I think used to work with Leslie and has his own studio and whatnot. But I have a group of friends there. But again, like these are my people. These are the people that help me read auditions, and um, yeah, I think it's so important to find your like tribe and your community as an actor.
Mhm. It's interesting because, I know a lot of actors, I know a lot of good actors,
Hmm.
and many actors I find are very good within certain parameters, right?
Hmm.
Certain types of films or
Yep.
TV, certain genres, certain tones. But it's interesting working with you. I mean, obviously, the film we worked on was a very sweet, heartwarming Christmas film, which
Yep.
for me was a very different experience.
You don't
But
kill anyone in it.
no one gets
Spoilers.
killed.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. But what was interesting is I had the honor of reading with you for a couple of your auditions while we were there. And these auditions were for things just across the spectrum, from horror film to, more procedural type, action thing. And it was amazing to me to see how you could just fit into those different types of genres and feel absolutely like you belonged in that world. Because again, I know people who are very good in like gritty, drama
Mhm.
stuff, but drop them into a light comedy, they're hopefully out of their depth.
Hmm.
And it was just so much fun to watch you do these different types of genres. At one point she was doing an audition and she had a monologue and she says to me, "Oh, it's just a little monologue, not a big deal." And I think it was the second scene maybe we were doing. So I'm just sitting there watching it, like not expecting anything. And she just breaks down in tears in this extraordinarily sad, beautiful, haunting monologue. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like I could have gotten a warning sign about that because I had no idea that was coming. Then she turns on, does the take again, and delivers it again. It's like, holy shit. Like it was just, I mean, it was really delightful to watch.
Thank
So
you.
clearly you are able to play in multiple worlds. And then if you want to talk about it in more detail, but like I watched a short that you had directed and wrote and produced and starred in, and it is intense and scary and creepy and amazing. And it was just like, it was the first thing I watched outside of just working with you in this film. And in this film, you're just this, high strung lawyer who's very sweet,
Hmm.
but, a little clumsy, a little, gets a little wound up,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
just at the core, delightful human being. Right.
Hmm.
And watching that short and seeing you bring these very manipulative, dark shadows to that character is like, oh, that's intense and fun. So
Thank you.
kudos. The training you've done has certainly worked.
Oh, that's so kind. Thank you. Yeah, I truly attribute that to working with Leslie for so many years. Like we worked on every possible genre and now at John's every possible genre. And I think I was really, really bad for a long time so that I could figure out these different worlds to play in and how to like shift. And one of my favorite actors is Emma Stone, and she seamlessly shifts between drama and comedy, and she can do, in my mind, can do anything. And that's what
Hmm.
I've always aspired to do is like I want to be able to be dropped in any world and be able to navigate it. That's part of the fun of this job is getting to do a million different things. And I treat my auditions that way too, because like I get, the opportunity to do this weird, different character that like ordinarily I wouldn't get to do. And it's part of the reason I made my short film is because I was like, it's funny when I pitched it to you and I was like, here's what it's about. And I was like, oh yeah, and I play the inmate. And you're like, wait, I'm sorry, you don't play the psychiatrist? I was like, no, I play the inmate. And every single person, when I tell them the story, they're like, oh, so you play the psychiatrist? And I'm like, no, I play the inmate. And it's because I don't get seen that way typically. And I want to work in those kind of like seeing Charlize Theron in Monster was like, I was like, that's what I want to do. That is so unbelievable. And you just don't expect it from, at least then you didn't expect it from her. Now, I mean, everyone knows she can do anything.
Right. Yeah, I got to tell you, like just interacting with you, I absolutely thought you were going to play the straight-laced, smart,
Hmm.
doctor who's
Hmm.
the good person.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was wonderfully shocking what you brought to the screen. So yeah,
Thank you.
kudos.
Thank you.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's fun to watch people like, I love Bryan Cranston. I loved
Hmm.
him with his
Hmm.
comedies.
Yep.
Breaking Bad's one of my
Yep.
top,
Yep.
dramas of all time. I think those folks who can kind of go back, I think people who are good at comedy can almost always do drama, but it's
Hmm.
not the opposite.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
That's a good point. Like Steve Carell is like I mean, the master of that. I mean,
mhm.
God, that man is good in everything he does. But yeah, comedy is, I think that's why I feel really grateful that I would also tell actors to take improv training. Have you done any improv?
Not really.
I think it's so, because I mean, talk about diving off a cliff.
Yeah.
You have no idea what's going to come next, and you just learn to, literally yes and. And
Hmm.
yeah, I think improv really helps people figure out what's funny on you,
Hmm.
and forces you to be so present. So I'm really grateful that like I don't know why 10-year-old Maddie wanted to do improv, but I'm really glad she did.
Yeah, unfortunately, no one looks at this face and thinks, let's give this guy a comedy. I
You're
would
so
love to
clean
do comedy.
shaven now though. Look at you. And you have
Do I
this
look
wonderful leading man role now.
do I look funnier now with the um, yeah, but I think comedy is so fun.
Mhm.
When I have done comedy, it's been things that I've made myself because
Yep.
no one has cast me in a comedy.
We
So
have the
I
opposite.
face
We have the opposite problem.
right, exactly,
Hmm.
exactly.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, but eventually,
Hmm. Well, now after they see this, you as this charming leading man, it's
but
gonna.
he's not funny.
You're no, but he's very charming and he's
I'll have to
delightful.
take your word for that.
Yeah.
But uh, are there any actors, actresses that you've looked to in your career as inspiration?
Hmm. It's funny, when I was little, I was obsessed with Julia Roberts. Like, I would write her a lot of fan mail, like a lot of fan mail, and my mom
Uh-huh.
still kept some of it, which like one day I'm hoping I get to work with her and get to like give her this fan mail. But she was by far and away my favorite actress growing up. And it's so funny because like all my friends would be watching Mary-Kate and Ashley, and I was like watching Erin Brockovich and being like, this is the, and like my mom would be like, okay, you can watch it, but I have to sit with you and like cover your eyes at certain points. But I was obsessed with her. I watched like that, Notting Hill, Stepmom. Those were my favorite movies growing up, which is like not the most normal movies for like a 9-year-old to be loving, but I just thought she was brilliant.
Right.
In everything she did. I thought she was so charming and magnetic on camera. And again, someone who just commanded the screen the second she was on it. And so Julia Roberts was like who I aspired to be growing up. And now the people that I, admire most are honestly the ones that have their own production companies and get to green, like, I really admire that Margot Robbie has Lucky Chap and Reese has Hello Sunshine, and they get to greenlight their own stuff. Like that's what I want to do is like be like, yeah, I want to tell this story and I want to greenlight it. So people who do the production side of it are now really who I admire.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
I think that's probably the future of this
Hmm.
industry,
Yeah.
creating our own work. Um, yeah, I've never met Julia, but I did a film 2 years ago with her brother, which
Oh,
everyone's done a
that's
film with her brother,
cool.
but
Not me. Not me.
super, super nice guy.
Okay.
Yeah, super nice guy.
Uh,
Um, so are there any projects or roles that you feel like had the biggest impact on you as a human being?
oh, that's a really good question. Um, I would say the project that had the biggest impact on me was definitely doing Amy Benson. It's called The Secret Life of Amy Benson. Um, it was my first time ever being, number one on a call sheet and getting to film for, 3 months straight. And we did 2 seasons at once, which was crazy. And 2 books at the same time. So trying to navigate like where this character was in her journey over 2 seasons it was pretty amazing. And the best part of that was I got so close with the crew because I had never been in every single scene before. And so I was on set all day, every day for 12-hour days. And I'm someone who likes to ask a lot of questions. So I would start asking our DP, Robert Viraros, who's wonderful. And I'd be like, why are we on this lens? Why are we doing it this way? And I would just like soak it all up. And so when we wrapped, Robert was like, I think you'd be a really good director. If you ever want to direct anything, like I will be your DP with my crew for free. And I was like, I hope you mean that because I'm genuinely going to take you up on it. And then within a week, I gave him the script of the short film. And then within a couple months, we were filming it in Atlanta. And I was like, I really hope you mean that because if you offer something that to me, I'm going to take you up on it. Um,
That is fantastic. Wow. And I gotta say, the cinematography in your film is amazing.
Thank
It is
you.
amazing.
Oh, Robert
Uh,
is incredible, truly. Like, and I mean that crew, I like really got really close to them. They did, they worked for me for free on this short film, and it was unbelievable. And I called Tosca, who is the owner of Passion Flicks, who directed season 1 of Amy Benson. And I was like, hey, could I maybe shoot on your sound stages for free? And she was like, absolutely, whatever you need. And so the person who was our showrunner for Amy Benson came and was my first AD for my short. Like everyone just really, really showed up for me. And Tosca is amazing. That's why I say Amy just opened so many wonderful doors to me because Tosca is someone who like really walks the walk of like if you tell her like hey like I want to do this she's like absolutely how can I support you. I was like I'd really like to direct. She's like great, come shadow direct with me, come live with me for 2 weeks so you can shadow this project. Like unbelievable. So I feel really lucky that that project in opened so many doors to me, and Passionflix has been so wonderful to me, and like the fan base has been so wonderful. Like there it's just I feel so grateful to have done that project.
that speaks a lot to you as a human, though, because I know for a fact there are plenty of actors who are number one on the call sheet that the crew is not offering to work for free, and the showrunner is definitely not showing up to be their AD. Uh, so that speaks very highly to you as a human. I mean, obviously, I'm sure they were blown away by your talent, but also by just being a great human being. And I have to say, like, I'm probably not the demographic for the show, but I started watching
No.
it, and you are amazing in it. Like,
Thank you.
it is. You're in every single scene. It's amazing to watch, and you're just captivating. Yeah, it's a really fun show. So for folks who haven't seen it, you should check it out. And like I said, for people like me, it was like if I didn't know you, I probably wouldn't tune in.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I do know you and that I did tune in because it's a really fun series.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
so uh, yeah, that was I mean, series regular for 2 seasons, number one on the call sheet. You were number one on our call sheet as well.
I was
So
number one.
that
Yep.
is that's now recurring for you on multiple projects.
Oh
So,
God, from your mouth to God's ears. I hope so. Um,
um, yeah. So let me ask you, so when you're getting ready to do an audition versus
mhm.
getting ready to work on set for something you've booked, do you approach the preparation differently, or is it just like you're the same thing either way?
I think it's project by project based. I always start with, one of Leslie's techniques is called cover up the page. And it forces you to get into wait, is it your right brain or your right brain? Your right brain is like the creative brain. Your left brain is like the analytical, like pre-planning side. So basically, literally what you do is you hold up the audition sides and you cover up your lines and you just read what the other person says, and then you forces you to think before you go to your line, like what do I think about what they've just said? And it forces you to like live in that white space of like before I go to what my character says, what do I think about it? And doing that was so instrumental to me because I was such a pre-planner. And I would go to the line, I'd be like, okay, this is what my character says. And covering up my line forced me to live in that white space of like, what is my point of view on this? What did they just tell me? What it forces you to put your attention on the other person, which is what
Mhm.
acting is, and forces you to listen. So I always start with that, always. And then that's within the given genre circumstances, because as we were saying, a comedy is very different than a drama, and a half-hour comedy is different than, a multicam versus single cam. So it's just kind of knowing what what tools to use within those worlds and where how you play in those worlds.
Mhm.
So I always start with that. I always figure out what my character's thinking, what their point of view is on everything, what relationships they're in. But for example, for our movie, I did a lot of journaling as Ella about what her Christmases looked like as a kid, so that I could, have those kind of just in the back of my mind of like what that felt like. And I also journaled about like, why she's closed off, why she doesn't want to get close to someone and have a relationship, and why she, is alone in the city and things like that, so that I could not think about it on the day. It was just kind of in the back of my mind, all that prep
Mhm.
work, and then I could just be present with you in the moment is kind of
Mhm.
my hope, is just to always do my work ahead of time, and then on the day be open and willing to whatever you're giving me, because you were giving me a lot. So it would be a disservice to not be putting my entire attention on you and all of the beautiful work that you were doing.
You're too sweet. Um, yeah, but like I never once saw you acting, and I've worked with some people who make a lot of money acting, and I can catch them acting. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow. But yeah, I just never. It was as if you were improving the lines,
Oh,
as if
that's
they had not been
beautiful.
written, and you were
Wow.
just saying them. Now, speaking of lines,
Mhm.
I saw you memorizing so much, seemingly so easy. Like I know one day we're on set and there was a miscommunication, so you had an entire scene
Mhm.
that was not on the call sheet, and there was already like I think 12 pages. Where like it was a crazy day, and I remember thinking if I got thrown a new scene, it's getting shot a different day, right? And you just did it. Like, what's your take? Like, what's your approach to memorization? Because clearly you have a good one.
Oh, thank you. I think so. Part of it, I have truly always had almost a photographic memory, truly. Like since I was I know that's an annoying answer. It's just true though. It's just true. I literally, it's just true. It's just true. I've always been, I think that's like one of my superpowers, is that I'm very good at memorizing and very good at memorizing quickly. This is a little
Let me
side.
just interrupt you real quick and
What?
say I wish I had known this the whole shoot because I'd have felt way less. Way. I was like, how is she doing this? This is
It's
amazing to me.
truly just my parents growing up, because I was a straight A student. They at Catholic
Of
school,
course.
they got pulled into the principal's office, and they were like, Maddie's cheating. And they were like, what? No, like she would never do that. And they're like, here's her essay, and you write them in class, it's verbatim like from the textbook, she must have notes. And they're like, no, 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 she just has a photographic memory, so she can pull
Wow.
directly from the textbook. Like,
That is, well, that's totally unhelpful for anyone, Maddie, but
I
thank you
know,
for
I know,
sharing
I know, I
that.
know. I'm sorry. I know that's the honest answer. The other thing that I do is I really try to memorize without putting anything on it.
Mhm.
Because I used to do that. I used to memorize the way I would say it,
Right.
and then it would come out so pre-planned and like these cute little line readings. So
Hmm.
when I do memorize, I try to walk around and say my words almost like by rote, like just with no emotion on them. And I try to walk so that it like puts it in my body. I
Hmm.
find that that's really helpful to me. Um, but yes, the real answer is that I just have a very good memory.
Nice. Well, uh, yeah, memorization's never been easy for me.
Hmm.
And I listen to, I usually record the lines and I give every
Hmm.
character a different voice, but
Hmm.
like I just record it flat, right? Just
Hmm.
saying the
Yep.
words. And I just
Yep.
listen to it. So it's almost like running lines with someone, except I'm using my voice app on my phone.
Yep.
But I also, as you know, like I get to set and the master shot, I'm a little shaky. And as we get closer to the close up, I got it down, right? So I don't.
But but that's one of the beautiful, like, truly, you should take this exact compliment back to you because it sounds like you are also improving these words and they are just coming to you so effortlessly. And I kind of love that you kind of find them and it's so organic and so wonderful. And I never quite know how you're going to do it, which is so fun to be opposite of.
Yeah, definitely all those scenes were a lot of fun. I'll just tell you guys a quick story, and I won't give any of the story away.
Hmm.
I mean, it's not breaking new ground too much, but it's a Christmas romance movie.
You can
But
probably guess what happens.
yeah, but there's a scene where my character's trying to make up for being a really, really, really stupid guy, and I go to see Maddie's character, and we have this conversation on the front porch, and they have the camera set up, and they are getting Maddie's coverage, and I'm there, just to work with her and give her lines. But she starts doing the scene, and I'm like, oh my god! It was like what you were giving me was so overpowering, and like, I mean, it was just like emotionally overwhelming. And I just remember standing there trying not to get too emotional because I'm like, the camera ain't on me, right? But what you were doing was just hitting me so hard emotionally, that yeah, it was crazy. But again, it was as if you were saying the lines for the first time, right? It was like I was listening to a human say things to me for the first time that just hit me so deep and hard, that I was having a very hard time to try to like not fully like just break down listening to you. Which, I mean, again, that is not an instance that happens to me a lot at all. Yeah, I used to tell folks that one of my favorite actor that I'd work with was Mahershala Ali, and had a one day shoot with him on a movie years ago. And this guy was so amazing. And there were several times during the day where I just got so wrapped up in watching him do his magic that I forgot I was an actor in the scene with him. And it was like my turn to talk. And I'm like, oh shit, like what? Yeah. And it's crazy because the same thing happened with you on several occasions where I'm just doing the scene with you and I just get lost in the performance and forget that I'm doing a scene. And I'm like, oh shit, it's actually my turn to say something now. But uh, that for me is a rare that's a rare gift to get from an actor, when they're just so present and alive and dynamic and so much going on that you get to become an audience member for a split moment. So yeah, I can't wait for people to see what you did in this movie because I was so impressed.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, that is way too kind. Thank you. And it's such a tribute to you because as you're saying, you're not even on camera and you are giving me everything. Like truly, which is again, not common. A lot of times people when the camera's not on them, they kind of, phone it in a little bit and wait for their close up to really bring it. You are not one of those actors. You are an actor who is going to be in it with me every second. And it gave me so much to work off of because all I had to do was look at your eyes and just be absolutely heartbroken. And so it's such a tribute to you that even when the camera's not on you, you are so in it with me. So thank you, truly.
that really had nothing to do with anything I was. That was just me standing there witnessing what you were doing. So I can't take any credit for that whatsoever. Yeah, I had very little to do with that stuff. All right, so let's say that you could go back in time
Hmm.
to baby Maddie actor, right?
Hmm.
You're getting started at your career.
Hmm.
What are the three like pieces of advice that you, and maybe someone gave these to you,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, but three pieces of advice you would give new actors starting out to
Hmm.
help them kind of do what they want to do, either easier, faster, feel more
Hmm.
confident doing it, feel better about
Hmm.
who they are as human beings, like whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Uh, what are those things that you would share?
Ooh, that's again such good questions. Are you sure you haven't interviewed anyone before?
I'm positive. I'm just curious about this stuff.
I love it. Well, the first I will say, which I had said previously, is find your community. Like whatever that looks like for you, find those people that you can be really bad in front of. because that's part of this process. I think I genuinely believe that like I spent years being so bad. And like I still am always trying to get better. And I think if you find people that you feel really safe to do that with and to like fail and fall on your face and figure out what works, you're going to get there so much faster than trying to figure it out on your own. Also, you're watching other people fail and being like, that doesn't work. Why doesn't that work? Or that worked so well. That was so captivating. What made it captivating? So I think that would be like my number one thing is find a community of people that you can feel really safe to be bad in front of. Um, and then also, I think is it Dolly Parton that says like be yourself on purpose, which I think is the best advice ever. Like know who you are and then do that on purpose. And I
Mhm.
think that that's the performances that I admire the most have these nuances and idiosyncrasies where I'm like that's like them bringing a little piece of themselves to every role that they're doing. And so I think that the more you can authentically know your voice as an artist and as an actor and as a storyteller and like what stories you tell really well, it's going to take you so far, especially when you're first starting out too and you're getting pigeonholed into certain things. If you can figure out the stories that you really naturally tell very effortlessly and then get to surprise people and do other things, but at least when you're starting out, if you can have a clear idea of how you come off on camera, that's going to take you so far. um,
Mhm.
and then the last piece I would say is to have a full life outside of acting. I think that's really important. I think you can't, like, this is a long career and there are so many ups and downs. And if you put all of your worth on whether or not you're booking or whether or not you're X, Y, and Z, you're going to be really unhappy. And I think if you have a full life, it's just going to inform your art and what you bring to each set. And yeah, the actors that I admire, like Cillian Murphy, is a DJ. Do you know he DJs? Like
I did not know that.
that is so cool. He DJs like random pubs in Ireland. And I'm like, yeah, because he has like, he has a wife and kids and a very full life outside of acting. And I think the people that I admire the most and what I have learned seeing some people not do that and be just so obsessive and so like I need a job, it's like my whole identity and how hard that can be. So I think having a full life outside of acting will make the whole journey so much better and make you a better actor.
So those three pieces of advice were exactly the reason that I want to do this interview because I think that is amazing advice. And I wish someone had given that advice to me, all of those pieces of advice. Yeah, I think it's so easy for new actors to make acting the most important thing in the world. And I look back,
Yep.
some of my biggest regrets in life are the things I sacrificed for some
Yes.
crappy acting job, right? Like that
Yes.
didn't even matter. And I
Yes.
always tell folks, like when you're 80 or 90 or however long you
Mm-hmm.
live and you look back on life, are you really going to say, if I just booked one more guest star role on a procedural TV show? No. Hopefully you're thinking
Yes.
about your family, your loved ones, your
Yes.
adventures, the people
Yes.
who love you, and
Yes.
it's like when I didn't book anything that I'd want anyone to see. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I just thought booking jobs was the most important thing in the world. And then when that happened, oh my, everything would change, right? And I
Yep.
love acting. I love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But it does come a point where you realize it is a job
Yes.
like any other job. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
fun job. It's a silly
Yeah.
job. It's a job that I
Yeah.
adore, but it's a
Yeah.
job, right? And I just think no one should define who they are as a human being by their job. It's part of who we are, but it's not
Yes.
it doesn't encompass us fully,
Yes. Yes.
um, like, I mean, you heard me, I mean, I chat constantly about my nieces and nephews, because I don't have any kids.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, like spending time with your family, I don't know, it's just, and I just wish I could tell young actors,
Mm-hmm.
newer actors,
Mm-hmm.
work hard,
Mm-hmm.
focus, strive, but you got to have other stuff. I mean, I think that's such great advice.
I do.
Things that make you human,
It's a long career and you're always part of the journey of being a person is you're always going to be changing, you're always going to be growing and that's going to feed into your acting. Like
Hmm.
and so I think you do yourself a disservice where if you're not yeah, if you don't have a life outside of it and don't have interests and things outside of it, you're just going to be so hyper fixated and
Hmm.
yeah.
And like you said, like there are times when you have to turn down jobs because you're booking four
Hmm.
things at the same time. And there are times you're like, hey, I'm still alive if someone wants to give me
Exactly.
a role. You know what I mean?
Ex-
And that just is what
hmm.
it is.
It
Like,
is.
you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
we're not dentists. What we're doing is a crazy business, and it has
Hmm.
everybody has ups and downs.
Hmm.
And I think for those folks who are so hyper focused, like they get their validity from booking jobs. Well, what
Yep.
happens when you go 6 months or a year or 2 years without booking a job, right?
Hmm. Yep.
And what I learned a long time ago for me is when I'm booking things left and right, cool,
Yeah.
but it doesn't make me special. I just the light's shining on me at the moment.
Yep.
And when I'm not booking anything, I'm
Hmm.
not going, oh my God, what's wrong with me? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just like
exactly. Yeah.
it's just the way this crazy business works. And plan a vacation, you'll book a job. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Absolutely. Book a flight, book a job is like
yeah, it's
the
just the way to
truest.
work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
whenever you're so in love, I swear to God, whenever you're so in love with whatever else you're doing in your life, acting is like, do you want a job? Would you like to work?
mhm,
You know,
mhm.
and I think that's the ticket is like fall in love with your life outside of acting.
Yeah. I think also it brings more humanity to our performances if you actually
Absolutely.
live life. And
Absolutely.
I guess I know for me when I was a young actor, all of my acting choices and
Hmm.
approaches were through the prism of other actors I had seen in movies
Yep.
and TV shows.
Yep. Yep.
It was not through me and my life and my experiences.
Hmm.
And I still have actors that I very much respect and look up to, but I don't filter my performances through their performances,
Yep.
right? Like now it's like my performances, for what are good or bad, they're just
Hmm.
based on
Hmm.
me,
Hmm.
and my experience.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, that's great. Okay, so those are wonderful pieces of advice for actors who are getting started.
Hmm.
Now, let's say that actor who's booked their very first day, and they've got a 1 day, 2 line co-star on a big TV show. They're
Hmm.
super excited.
Hmm.
Um, like I know when that happened to me
Hmm.
and I showed up on set, I knew nothing.
Yeah.
Like what's some advice you'd give to that actor who, they're showing up for their very first day. They're not the series regular, they're not the
Yes.
big guest
Yes.
star. They got 1 or 2 lines and
Oh.
it's their first day on set.
Oh man. Oh, that's so exciting. I would say one, be a sponge because being on film sets is very different and there's a shorthand, there's a language that everyone speaks. So the more that you can pick up on that quickly, the better and smoother it's going to be. So just take it all in, be a sponge. Also, I think there's a tendency, when you're like, oh, I just have two lines to like shrink yourself down and to like not want to take up space. And I would tell them to take up space and introduce yourself, say hi to people, be like grateful to be there. And like, you deserve to be there. You booked this job. You are a part of this story. You are a part of this world. Everyone is collaborating. And I think that's one of the reasons I love film sets so much is we are all building a story and a world together. And there truly are no small parts. You are equally as important in this world. And so I think the tendency to shrink I would say to steer away from that. Obviously, don't come in, and be a diva, but come in and be like, I deserve to be here. I'm ready to collaborate. Look people in the eye, tell them your name. Steer away from that instinct to like, it's only two lines. It doesn't matter. I'm small. Um, yeah, I think that would be like really try to soak it all up, take everything in, and take up space.
Mhm. I love that.
Hmm.
It's something that I tell new actors that I wish I had done that I
Yeah,
now do
yeah,
is it's okay to be new, right?
yes,
It's okay to step on set
yes,
and meet the second AD and go, hey, this is my very first co-star booking on a
yes.
TV show.
Yes, yes,
Could you make
yes.
sure that you guide me a little bit today if I and
Hmm.
make sure I don't do anything that's going to cause problems? Um, because I showed up my first time with my first little co-star role
Hmm.
thinking I needed to pretend as if I knew everything.
Oh,
And I
that's such
knew
good advice.
nothing. I didn't know
That's
where to go. I just knew
such good
nothing.
advice.
And
Yes.
because I pretended that I knew everything, no one offered me any advice and guidance,
Yeah, yeah.
And I wish, and I'll tell you, like, so last year I had to go to a big premiere, and I've been to premieres, but this was way outside of my comfort
Hmm.
zone.
Hmm.
And I remember I showed up and the production company had a handler for me. And it's the first time I'd ever had a handler. And this very, very nice lady, she comes up to me. And the first thing I said to her was, It is such a pleasure to meet you. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. Please guide me tonight
I
so I don't
love
make a
that.
fool out of myself. And she did. Like she took that as like, I'm
Mhm.
going to help him out. And she literally guided me through every obstacle that I would have certainly
Mhm.
crashed headfirst into. She helped me kind of step around and
Yes.
I think she appreciated the fact that I did not pretend like I knew what I was doing because I
Yep.
didn't, right?
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I think that we don't have to pretend like we know everything.
How wonderful to get to like have that beginner mindset and to like how refreshing to call it out. And yeah, you just open yourself up to so many what people want to help. They do. They want to
Mhm,
help you. So if you and one of something else that you can always ask in like in a polite way is like, can I watch monitor? Because I've learned so much watching monitor. And
mhm,
you know, sometimes you might get told no, but like a lot of times you'll get to watch and you'll get to watch people who are a lot better than you and have been doing it a lot longer be unbelievable and be like, wow, that's how they're doing that. And they like know how to work the frame so well. So yeah, I
mhm.
think asking for what you need is very, very important. That's such good advice of like, don't pretend you know everything when you don't. I love that.
22-year-old me thought he knew everything. God, people
What?
must have hated me. Yeah.
What? I
Uh,
can't imagine that.
yeah. The older I get, the more I know I don't know. Um, Now, speaking of my very first time
Hmm.
as a co-star on a TV show,
Hmm.
and I won't say what the show was,
Okay.
but the lead actor was the opposite of kind and the opposite of welcoming, and it stuck with me because I remember thinking if I were ever in his place,
Mhm.
I would hope that I would be kind to the crew and to the actors, and certainly to the little tiny actor who's got four lines, who's clearly terrified
Yes.
and is super excited to work with you because you're famous. Um, so I personally watched you be just ridiculously kind to everyone on set, the crew, the actors, I mean, just everyone. And I
Mhm.
saw how that affected folks and made them, you shone a light on them and made them feel special because they are special. Everybody, I always say there is no unimportant job on a film set.
Absolutely.
Just like
Absolutely.
there's no unimportant actor in a film or TV show, there everyone's job matters. If the craft services PA drops the ball, there's going to be issues on your set.
Yep. Yep. Hmm.
um, I've certainly through my career seen number ones on the call sheet who were kind,
Hmm.
and I've seen number ones who were not kind. And what's interesting is in most cases, those number ones that I saw that were kind, I've watched their career just either stay at the top or
Hmm.
just go up, up, up.
Hmm.
And those folks who were not kind, almost always I saw them eventually fall because life is short and people don't want to work with them.
Yeah.
Um, what's your take on, again, you live it, but what do you think is like the idea of kindness? And by kindness, I don't mean weakness,
Yes.
but I mean just true kindness.
Yes.
How critical do you think that is to an actor's long-term career?
Oh, I mean, being kind as a person is important. Like, forget acting. You know, just the world's hard enough. Like we like you know. So being kind as a person is just like, what else are we doing on this planet otherwise? So that
Mhm.
aside, I got really lucky to see. I guest starred on Shameless, and my first day it was pretty amazing. We did a table read with everyone with like, you know, William H. Macy and Jeremy Allen White and Emmy Rossum. And I don't know if you've had this experience. This was my only time where at the table read, they like introduced the guest stars and everyone applauded for them, which was such a special moment to look around and see William H. Macy like applauding for me. And I thought that was such a beautiful way to like introduce someone to this world. And so at the end of the table read, I'm leaving, and Emmy Rossum grabs my arm and she's like, "Wait for me outside." And I was like, "Oh my God, they're gonna fire." Oh, there's my cat Kalu, by the way. Hi, Kalu. I was like, "Oh my God, I must have done such a bad job. They're going to fire me. They're going to fire me." She's the executive producer on this. She's telling me to wait for her outside. So I'm standing outside and I'm panicked. And she comes up to me and she goes, "Oh my God, you're totally fine. You're like, don't," she could see it on my face that I was like, "Oh my God, she's going to fire me. She's going to fire me." And she was like, you don't need to panic. You're fine." And she's like, "I just wanted to pull you aside and say, welcome to the show." She's like, "I don't know if you've done sex scenes before. I know you're doing a sex scene. Like, Jeremy is wonderful. He's going to be so great with you. Like, if you need anything, come to me. Come directly to me. I will be here for you. She's like, I want you to always feel safe on this set. And I was like, how wonderful that this number one of season 9 of her show is pulling aside a guest star to be like, hey, are you comfortable? Like, I don't know if you've ever done this before. Have you ever done a sex scene before? If you're not, come directly to me. Don't go to anyone else in this production. Come to me. And I was like, wow, if I could do that when I'm at her level, like that's all I want to do for people is make them feel so wonderful and welcome. And so that really, really stuck with me. And also, as an actor, like we are the last people on set and the first people to leave. The crew is there before we are, and they leave after we do. And they are lugging heavy equipment, and we get all the glory. We get all the like, do you need a water? Is everything okay? And so every day that I'm on set, I'm so grateful that I get to act. And I just remember like everyone else's job is so much more hard than mine is, to be honest. And so I don't know how you can not be kind to these people who are just trying to make you look as good as you can and give you all the glory. Like actors get all the glory on these projects. So I don't know. I think as a person, I just see the world that way. And especially on these sets that are long days and people are working really, really hard. I don't know how you cannot not be kind to people, you know?
That's what's great about you, because there are definitely people who do not have that approach. But you're right. I mean, I think there's a lot of actors who
Mhm.
have this mindset that they have the hardest job in a film or TV show. And I'm like, you have clearly never produced anything.
Yes.
Um, because it's so easy to be in your trailer
Yep.
and you got a latte and then you get
Yep.
walked to set to do your
Yep.
camera rehearsal. You go back
Yep.
to your trailer and you go back,
Yep.
you do the scene, and there's some second AD bringing you another, iced
Mhm.
tea or
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
And you don't often get to see all the hard work that the crew pours into what we're doing. Like I said, like the boom mic operator, that's
Mhm.
a hard job.
Oh, I held
They're
that
not,
boom mic. That mic, that is heavy. That'll
yes,
burn you out. Yeah.
yes. But what are they getting outside of just the love of their job?
Mhm.
Obviously, a paycheck. But yeah,
Mhm.
you're right. They're not walking, generally speaking, the red carpet. They're not getting a ton of attention. They're
No.
doing the job because they love it
Yep.
and they're passionate about it.
Yep.
And yeah, I wish more actors would either have the mindset you have or go produce a short film and realize just how much
Yep.
work goes into it.
Yep.
And they will never again say that actors have the hardest job on set. Like we literally do what we did for free when we were 8.
Exactly. Exactly. And like any day I get to act is truly the best day and I get paid for it. Like that's the best. And so
Mhm.
yeah, it's exactly that. I think making your own stuff, and I got to, as I said earlier, Tosca let me shadow direct her when we were doing. She was doing Black Dagger Brotherhood, which is a vampire series. So we would film at night. So for 2 weeks straight, because she was directing, I would get there with her. So we would get to set around like 3, 4 p.m. The call time would be 6, and we would film till about 5 in the morning, and then we'd go home, sleep for a couple hours, and then prep for the day. And I'm like,
Mhm.
if people saw that, like you would just appreciate everything so differently. So yeah, if you can shadow, if you can make your own stuff, if you can see the other side of the camera, I think it just informs so much.
Yeah. Like I have a standing rule, like I don't ever critique films or TV shows publicly. Um,
Mm,
because and people can do whatever they want to. But for me, it's just so hard to make a movie. It's so
mhm,
hard to make a TV
mhm,
show.
mhm.
And it's really hard to make a good one,
Yep.
right? And
Yes. Yes.
everyone sets out to make a good TV show or a good
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
No one sets out to do one that's not good, but
Mhm,
there's just so many moving parts and so many pitfalls that you can fall into, and you can do everything right. And just for
mhm.
whatever reason,
It doesn't
the
work.
end
Yep.
result's not that good.
Yep.
So it's interesting. Like once I got into filmmaking, every movie I watch now, I watch it from a place of love. What it feels like is like I remember helping one of my little nephews learn to ride a bicycle, and he was like 5 or 6. And I remember pushing him, and like, of course, he'd fall off, and he'd get back
Mhm,
on, and he'd
mhm.
fall off, get back on. And at no point did I ever say, "You little idiot! Why can't you?" You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
cheering
Yeah.
him on, and
Yes.
eventually he could ride the bicycle after he
Mhm.
fell off quite a few times.
Yep.
So now when I'm watching movies, Obviously, I judge them personally, but I also have this place. I watch them from a place of like, especially for newer filmmakers, where
Mhm,
they might have fallen off the bike, made some
mhm,
mistakes,
mhm.
but if they keep going, they'll get
Yep.
back on the bike and they'll figure those things out and they'll
Mhm.
hopefully make better movies. But I've seen like $200 million films. I thought, it's okay,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
and I've seen shorts that blew me out of the water, right?
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I know. I think that like bringing our our love to set, our love for the industry, our love for filmmaking, for all the people involved in this process, and truly, and I saw this with you, like truly being grateful for being there, right? Like because I remember years ago I was in LA and I had an audition with a casting director that did not go well, and it was uh, it was funny. It was, speaking of tone and genre, this was for a soap opera, and it
Mhm.
was a bad guy. And so I went in there and did my best bad guy.
Yep.
And when I finished, the casting director, she looked at me and she said, "You know this is for, right?" I was like, "Yeah, it's soap opera." She goes,
Yeah.
"Who watches soap operas?" So I was like, I don't know, people like my mom, my
Yeah.
grandma." She says, "Yeah, women alone at home." She goes, "What you just did was terrifying." She goes, I'm like, "But he's the bad guy." She goes, "No, no,
Yeah.
no. He's supposed to be sexy and a little dangerous,
Yes, yes.
not terrifying," right? I had no idea about genre and tone or
Oh
whatever.
my God.
But the thing she said to me that I never lost it. She said, "Don't forget as you move forward in this career." She goes, "If you book something that's only one line, there are millions of people who wish they had that line." She goes, "Never take it for granted."
It's true.
And that just, so when I'm on a set and I hear actors complaining about craft service, like whatever silliness
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
actors can complain about, I can't remain silent. Cause like, like there's
Yeah.
so many people who wish they had that line or
Yes.
whatever, they wish they were on set doing this thing that we love. And so
Yeah.
many of us strive so hard. And here's the thing, a lot of people don't get many opportunities to do it, right? So when we get those opportunities, I think being grateful is so important. And I can always tell when I'm on set with an actor who's truly grateful. Like you can just feel the energy, and people want to work with folks, I think,
Mhm.
who have that gratefulness, right? Versus um, that sense of, oh, of course I'm number one on the call sheet because I'm amazing. Right? Like I never got that sense from you. Like it was always a sense of gratefulness and kindness and um, appreciation for all those around you that helped form the world, whether it was actors, other actors in the scene, or the crew. It was clear that you were grateful that they were there helping you do what you needed to do. And that just makes people, I guarantee you, if you ask any crew member and any actor on that film that we did, "Hey, would you work with Maddie again?" Like every hand would go up, like, of course. Um, but I'll tell you this, like, and I won't give any details, but I remember years ago, I booked a TV show and I remember getting in the van to go from base
Mhm.
camp to set,
Mhm.
and I was kind of scooched down the seat. So the
Yeah.
driver didn't know
Yeah.
I was there. Driver gets on, thinks he's in the van alone. And the number one on the call sheet comes walking towards the van. And this driver says out loud, "I hate this motherfucker." And I started laughing. And he's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." It's like, "No, no, it's all good." So we, we go to set. And
Yeah.
it takes me exactly 30 minutes to realize I hate this motherfucker too. Like he was so rude
Oh my
to
God.
everyone, to the
Oh
crew, to the,
God.
but the deal was he felt he was too good to be doing a TV show, is what it
Yep.
boiled down to, right?
Yep.
And he
Yep.
made sure everyone knew he was too good to be there. And
Mhm.
like you could just sense this, like everyone was what they were just like, "Dear God, let this day end," right?
Yeah.
He didn't bring any joy. And then I've had the opportunity to work with many, many actors who you do sense that, like, wow, I'm really happy to be here. I'm so grateful to be doing this.
Mhm.
Um, that it's kind of shocking when I see those examples of folks who aren't
Yeah.
kind and appreciative.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I know that. And also, like you're saying, just being a kind person in life, you know, it's a good way. It's kind of a
It's
good
a
way to
good
move
way
through the
to
world.
be. I mean, life is,
Yeah.
especially lately, life is pretty hard and, you know, yeah, I just don't know how you operate through the world if you're not kind. And why be here? I don't know.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
you are the same way. I mean, it's funny to me that you say you're not a words of affirmation person because I have witnessed you personally make every person feel so special and so seen for the work that they do. And you will compliment, our camera operator and be like, that shot was amazing, man. Like, really good. Like, very specific of, like, wow, that was so, and calling people out for these little things that, a lot of people wouldn't notice. And you call it out, you mention it to them, you make them feel so special and so good and so capable at what they're doing, and that just ripples out. So you operate the exact same way on sets, and it's really, really wonderful to see you give out so many wonderful words of affirmation to other people. So it's crazy to me that you say you don't take them in.
I am not good at, like, I like giving gifts. I don't like receiving gifts, kind of person.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, uh, I think my experience, my very first little co-star role, that was so, I left feeling so beat down and like so unappreciated, and it was not the crew's fault. It was not the other. It was just one particular lead person in the show. Um, but everyone left the set feeling that way, feeling like, you know, the light was not shined on anyone.
Yeah.
And and it's easy, I think, because I very seldom have I been on a film set where I was like, oh, that guy just doesn't give a shit,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Most people care what they're doing,
Hmm.
because that's, I
Hmm.
mean, this is a hard business behind this, the camera, in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Um, so I think, like, us paying attention to it and acknowledging it, like, why not? It takes
Yeah.
us 10 seconds to say a truth. And
Hmm.
again, I told you this many times, like, I don't lie.
Yes. Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I speak,
Mhm.
I never can claim to be right, but I can always claim to be honest, right? So I
Yes.
will
Yes.
always speak my mind.
Yeah.
And I'll never give someone a compliment that I don't believe.
Hmm.
But I very much believe that if you see someone doing a good job, like, why not tell them,
Hmm.
So,
And it
uh,
makes a huge difference. It really does. It really, really does. So I love how much you called that out of, like, you're doing this specific thing really well, and I want you to know that I'm seeing that. And so that's something I'm going to take with me for sure.
we had our little co-star Allegra. She's 10, I think, playing a 9-year old, and she was amazing.
Hmm.
And I got some of the best advice that I've ever gotten as an actor from her. Um, she and I show up at your family's doorstep,
Hmm.
and we're getting ready to knock on the door because I'd screwed up and I'm showing up to apologize.
Hmm.
And just before they call action, she looks over at me and she says, "Don't screw this up."
God, I love her. God, I
It's like
love her.
that. That is the best acting advice I've ever
Don't,
gotten.
God, don't screw this up.
Don't screw this up.
I mean, she was
Um,
unbelievable. I mean, that one dinner scene, every take she did it fresh. And that is so hard to do. That's something that, like, you work on your whole career to be fresh every take and to have a new, and she was doing it just effortlessly.
and it was hilarious without effort.
Yes. Yes. There was no pushing. There was no, like, uh, I mean, it was like it was a master class watching,
Yeah.
yeah, her work.
Yeah. She was way more mature than me, way more focused than me. Uh, you don't have to say
Yeah,
anything,
I was gonna say no comment.
but she really was amazing to work with. And that's the thing with, you always roll the dice when, like, I love little kids, like, I love
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
but, like, I love blueberries, and sometimes you get a bad batch, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but man, we, like, won the lottery with Allegra. Like, she was just so good
Yeah.
and so focused and
Hmm.
so talented.
Hmm.
Um, like, it was easy to, like, love her as a character, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
and want her to be okay and want her to get her way. Yeah, she was
She was
delightful.
such a little pro too. She get a note from someone, she just throw up a thumbs up, just like, "Yep, got it. Let's go again." Like,
Yep.
as though she'd been
Yep.
doing this 50 years. It was unbelievable.
And unlike me, she never went up on a line. It was just like, she just
Never,
had them
never,
solid.
never.
I was like, you ladies are making me look very bad here. So what is a dream role or a dream project that you would love to do in the future?
Oh my God, I have so many. Literally so many. I would love to be a Bond girl. that's a dream. But like a cool Bond girl. Like I want to be the one that also gets to like pull the gun and like, is also a spy. Like I want to be like that version. I would love to work with Stephen Knight. He's like top of my list. I'm obsessed, as you know, obsessed with Peaky Blinders. So world building like that. I would love to play Marilyn Monroe at some point. That's been a dream role of mine. And then Taylor Sheridan is another. I'm like, I love his worlds. I love anything that I get to like train for. Like you've gotten to ride horses, which I'm so jealous of. Ride horses and shoot guns. Like I want to do that. I want to get to like train, do an accent, really have to like embody a character. Yeah, yeah, those are some dream roles for me for sure.
I think those sound amazing. The producers who happen to be watching.
Yeah, if anyone's watching, and wants me to shoot a gun, give me a call.
There you go.
What about you? What are some of your dream roles?
Oh gosh. Um, you know, I wrote a TV comedy
Hmm.
uh, that's based on the lives of my dad and my best friends growing up in a trailer park outside of Savannah. Um, I'd really love to do that show because A, it's a comedy
Hmm.
uh, with some moments of sadness. But
Hmm.
when I was writing it, and as you know, I'm a huge softie. I found myself repeatedly writing presumably comedy scenes, but just pouring tears, because they're just
Yes.
the stories are so close to home.
Yeah.
Um, that for me is the number one thing I'd like to do as an actor and a filmmaker, is tell that story because I think it's a beautiful story
Hmm.
that's got a lot of humor and a lot of heart. Um, I gotta say, our movie, like I'd not ever been able to play like a sweet, loving dad. I've played a few dads,
Hmm.
not not the dads you want, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so uh, so I'd never done that before, and I
Hmm.
never played like the romantic interest in a movie.
Hmm.
And so when I got offered the film, I was definitely hesitant. I was like, I don't want, because I never want to like hurt someone's project
Hmm.
by being miscast.
Hmm.
Um, but then I thought, well, I'll give it a shot. So, but it was
Yeah.
so much fun. Like I
Hmm.
really, really enjoyed it.
Hmm.
Uh, I would definitely like to do more roles where I got to smile and not kill people. You know, that was like it was nice just having like rapport that was fun and light and
Lovely
interesting
and
and
yeah.
lovely, and
Hmm.
sometimes intense, but intense from a different place, like a heart
Yes.
place, right? Not a
Yes.
violence
Yes.
place.
Yes.
Um, like I can roll out of bed and do characters that are shooting guns and punching people, stuff. Right?
Hmm.
That's easy
Hmm.
breezy. But this was different for me, and I mean, just so much fun. Like you know, um, I did not realize how fun it would be, uh, which was nice. So, but there's a lot of things, like I would love to do. I've played a lot of physical characters,
Hmm.
but like I couldn't play Bond because I'm not British. But
Hmm.
I would love to play that type of character, like a good
Hmm.
guy
Yes.
that's kind of well put together. He's
Yes.
not
Yes.
scruffy and
Yeah.
but he engages in maybe some violent tactics, but in the pursuit of the good,
Like Thomas Shelby.
like Thomas Shelby. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He he's phenomenal
Yeah.
in that
You're
series.
always rooting for him, even when he's doing
Mhm.
the most horrible things. You're
Well,
always
it's like
rooting.
Bryan Cranston in Breaking
Mhm.
Bad. Like
Yeah.
I've watched that show 5 times,
Hmm.
and it was only on the fifth watching that
Yeah.
there were a few moments I thought maybe you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
first four, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, do it, man,
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
do what you got
Yeah.
to do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because they're doing bad, but in the pursuit of
Yep.
family or whatever good they perceive. So those are some things I'd like to do. But but having said that, like I love acting. Like
Hmm.
I can't recall there's been situations where outside of action and cut were not super fun.
Hmm. Hmm.
Not often, but I've worked on a few projects. I'm like,
Hmm.
but when they call action, all that disappears,
So
right?
true.
And then it's
So
just playing make believe.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like so there's a lot of things I'd love to do, but I'm not going to look down on any of the things that come my
Mm-hmm.
way.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm excited to see what doors this movie opens up for you because you are such a charming leading man in it, and you've never done it before, and you're so wonderful at it. So I'm really excited to see what it opens up for you.
Well, that is very sweet. Um, I'm hoping that Stephen Knight does a spinoff of Peaky Blinders
In Al
set in the
Capone
U.S.
world. Yeah, in Al Capone world. Yes. That's yes.
Because
Hmm.
I think you have a great look for that era, especially if he was to back it up to like 1918
Oh yeah.
and kind of tell the story the way they do with Peaky Blinders all the way through the Second
Hmm.
World War.
Hmm.
Uh, like the 1920s, my gosh, like you would fit that world so perfectly. That would be that'd be a show I'd tune into.
Ah, well, or be on it with me.
Oh, that'd be fun too.
Yeah.
So
You could play a clean cut gangster. It's perfect.
there you go. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
There were no scruffy looking gangsters back in the
No, there
day.
really weren't. And your haircut's now perfect for it. So, we're manifesting that. That's what we're manifesting here.
So is there anything else that you've given so many wonderful pieces of information? Anything that you would like to share that I haven't asked about?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, it's really hard for me to not be like, and what's your answers? Because I also want to know like what you think about all these things. So, um, can I ask what your three pieces of advice for new actors would be?
Sure. Um, I think the first thing is only take advice from people who are successful at doing something that you want to do.
Hmm.
I listened to so many people in LA
Hmm.
who had failed at becoming actors
Yeah.
and were now taking
Yep.
money from me
Yeah.
to tell me how to become an actor.
Yep. Yep.
And I look back and I cringe at some of the horrible advice they gave me.
Hmm.
And I remember like, because I was always very like logical and I was not the like artsy,
Yeah.
I didn't come
Yeah.
that path, right? I
Yeah.
came a different
Yeah.
path. So for me, like my job as an actor was to get out of the logical path and get into the organic path. But still I was logical enough that being in these classes, I would raise my hand and go, hey, how do I get a job?
Yeah.
How do I
Yeah.
book a job? And
Yeah.
so often the teacher would say, become so good they can't ignore you. To which I would respond, but they ignored you.
Yeah.
So
Savage.
I'm
Yeah.
clearly not going to learn
Yeah.
what I need to learn if
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
sitting here with no
Yeah.
credits.
Yeah.
and just and it's funny, like you and I discussed this on set. Like I remember being in these acting classes and everything was more,
Yep.
bigger,
Yep.
more.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I remember going to coffee shops in LA and I'd look over and I'd see two actors doing a scene.
Yes.
I can see his objective. I can see the
Yeah.
obstacle. This is
Yep.
amazing. They're
Yep.
so captivating.
Yep.
And then I learned how to actually book jobs and work. And
Hmm.
now, I'm in LA fairly often. And now I'll be in a coffee shop. And again, I can see these same actors
Yep.
doing a scene. I just think, oh, you poor fool. Like you're
Yes.
never going to book a job if I know you're doing a scene
Yes.
by
Yes.
watching it, right?
Yes.
If it's you and your girlfriend arguing, I should be like worried that you guys are
Absolutely.
safe
It should
or
look
I
like
should
a
be like, get a
conversation.
room.
Yes, a slice of life. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it should be a slice of life.
Hmm.
Um, but so much of what I learned when I got to LA uh, was just stupid bullshit.
Hmm.
Period.
Yeah.
Taught by people who were not bad people.
Hmm.
They were just wholly uninformed on how to do this career. And here's
Yeah.
the deal: like I do a little plumbing at my house if there's an
Hmm.
issue. But
Hmm.
trust me when I tell you, you should not take plumbing classes from me, right? Because I can get by,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
it won't
yeah,
be
yeah.
too bad, but
Yeah,
I'm not a
yeah,
plumber, right?
yeah, yeah.
It's like I'm pretty familiar with motorcycles.
Hmm.
And I can maybe impress you that I'm like a motorcycle guru
Hmm. Hmm.
until a real motorcycle
Yes,
mechanic comes up
yes,
and I look like a
yes,
clown, right?
yes,
Because
yeah,
I
yeah,
know 5% more than you, which
yep,
makes me look like I know a lot.
yep.
So that would be the first thing I would say is to myself, to a new actor, is
Hmm.
don't take advice from anyone until you've looked them up
Yep.
and make sure that they're now again, let me back up. There are certainly certain types of training, whatever you can do, like improv,
Yeah,
right? Like you
yeah,
don't have to have whatever. But
yeah.
if someone's teaching you how to do auditions on
Yes,
camera and they're
yes.
not booking jobs on
Yep,
camera, well,
yep,
they clearly don't know what they're doing.
yep.
Um, so uh, learning to
Mhm.
be discerning in
Yep.
who I listen to. Like I
Yep.
remember a couple weeks ago, I saw someone on Instagram had posted some tips on demo reels. And I remember thinking, this is the stupidest shit I have seen in a long time. So I do what I always do. I look this actor up on
Yep.
IMDb
Yep.
Pro, and
Yep.
they had been in 4 short films, but
Hmm.
they were just clearly putting out there to
Yep.
the whole
Yep.
world some tips on how to do demo reels. Like,
Yep.
Jesus. So that'd be
Yep.
the first big one. The
Yep.
second one is you can't play everything, right?
Yes.
When I
Yes.
did theater, I could play a
Yep.
92-year-old woman, and
Yep.
there's a suspension of disbelief.
Yep. Yep.
Whereas on camera, once you're famous, you can
Hmm.
get a certain level of
Yes.
suspension of disbelief.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
Brad Pitt can play a dorky professor now if he
Hmm.
wants to.
Yes.
25-year-old hot, not famous Brad Pitt would
No.
never book
No.
a dorky professor role,
No.
right?
Hmm.
Um, so, but it's what I would have said, I say this,
Hmm.
folks, figure out
Hmm.
what it is that you bring to the
Yep.
camera, to the
Yep.
screen effortlessly, right? I call
Yes.
it like
Yes.
grabbing the low-hanging fruit.
Yes. Yes.
Because no one cares. Like, I talk to new actors like, oh, I want to transform. I want to gain 100 pounds, lose 100 pounds. Like, buddy, you're going to get an audition on Tuesday.
Yeah.
They're going to need you to set the following Wednesday.
Yes. Yes.
No
Yes.
one's giving you
Yes.
time to gain 100
Yep.
pounds, lose 100 pounds.
No.
And here's the thing, even if you did, who gives a shit? No one knows that, right? They're just like, oh, look at that fat guy or look at that
Yeah.
skinny guy. Like,
Yeah.
they don't know.
Yeah.
It's not Christian Bale losing 100 pounds.
Yep.
It's just some dude they don't know.
Hmm.
So I think figuring out what I use the term brand, it's a very loaded term. It means a
Hmm.
lot of different
Hmm.
things to different people. But for me, all it means is what is the natural essence you give off on
Yes.
camera without
Yes.
trying? And
Yes.
I think figuring out what that is and understanding that who you are
Hmm.
is enough,
Yep.
right? Like, um, like I'll show you, oops, one
Hmm.
second.
Hmm.
Like this sits on my desk.
Hmm.
You can read it or not. But
Yep.
the first line is I'm enough, right?
Hmm.
My Wi-Fi password is I'm enough. Don't
Hmm.
steal my password, my Wi-Fi. But because I think that so many actors,
Hmm.
first of all, I think a lot of people get into acting because they feel that they are not enough and they need to
Absolutely.
become someone who
Absolutely.
is worthy of being
Yes.
one.
Yes.
And what I realize is we are all worthy. We
Hmm.
all are special. We all are enough. We just need to know who we are,
Yes.
right? And I know for me, for many years, as an actor and as a human, before I'd walk into a room, I would try to imagine what I thought they wanted. And I'd put on a mask
Yep.
and go in and try to give them what I thought they
Yes.
wanted.
Yes. Yes.
If I was a single guy, if I go on a coffee date, I'm like, what is it she's looking for?
Yeah.
Maybe I can keep that up for a month, maybe,
Yeah.
right? Eventually it's going to
Yeah.
fall to the side
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is going to be left standing.
Yeah.
And when I let that go and just said, you know what? Like I
Hmm.
spent many years hiding my background, like
Hmm.
where I was from, I was ashamed of who I had been, right?
Yeah.
And when I just let that go and said, you know what? Who I am made me who I am. And that's fine, right? I'm not better than anyone else. I'm also not worse than anyone else. And I stopped putting on masks and just now any room I walk into, this is what you get. And it's okay if you don't dig it, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't
Yep.
like strawberry ice cream
Yep.
and lots of people do.
Yep.
I have no expectations. Some people don't dig me. That's
Hmm.
totally cool as an actor or as a
Hmm.
person, whatever.
Hmm.
But what they get is real, right? I think that authenticity matters.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
so I would
Hmm.
say to young Mark, forget all the like trying to become something else and trying to be something you're not and just embrace who you are
Yes.
and walk in the
Yes.
room and bring
Yeah.
you. It's like you mentioned
Yeah.
earlier, like the Dolly Parton quote about
Hmm.
figure out who you are and then what's the exact quote?
Do it on purpose.
Do it on
Yeah.
purpose.
Figure out who you are and then do it on purpose. Hmm.
So it's funny when I started acting and I'd go back and watch myself, there was nothing about me that was
Hmm.
there, right? And I
Yeah.
remember I'd do these little like short films and student
Hmm.
films and
Hmm.
low budget feature films that I hope to God you never find. Um,
Oh, I'd love to see those.
oh, trust me, you would not. But I'd cut together a little demo reel, right? And I'd send it back
Yeah.
home to my family and friends.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, you're so amazing. Like you become all these characters. It's so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Because for them, the idea of being a good actor was me becoming someone I was
Yes.
not.
Yes.
Now, when I did that, I never worked high level at all, like
Yep.
nothing
Yep.
professional.
Hmm.
Certainly didn't win any acting awards ever. And it's funny, like once I let that go and
Yeah.
marks started showing up.
Yeah.
Number one, little ticks, I call them my Mark
Yeah.
McCulloughisms, right? These little things that I just do in real
The
life
idiosyncrasies.
are
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's so funny because like I've got a sister, I got a bunch of sisters, but one of them, she like, she supports me and watches my stuff, but she's like, I don't get it. It's just you
Hmm.
doing you. She goes, what
Yeah.
happened to all the characters, right?
Yeah.
So my family's impressed maybe by the whatever, the project. They
Yes.
are utterly unimpressed by my acting now. Like they're just like, it's just kind of you. Like there's nothing. And my sisters, all of them hate my laugh. Like they've hated it since I was a little boy.
Your whole
And
shoulders move. It's so endearing.
yes, well, in our movie, I was laughing for different reasons, but I still laugh in almost everything I work on.
Mhm.
Um, whether the script says I should or not.
Mhm.
And but it's just funny, like by me embracing me and letting
Mhm.
me come to the role and letting all
Yes.
those little weird, odd things that
Yes.
are me be
Yes.
there, it made real characters, right? It
Yes.
brought truthfulness and authenticity
Mhm.
and effortlessness,
Yep.
right? Um, and so I think that would be those two things. And then I think the last thing would be give yourself grace,
Mhm. Mhm.
because it's a
Yep.
crazy business.
Yeah.
Um, and don't there there's no like calendar above our heads saying you've got to reach this level by this time. And
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
it's like love what you do
Yeah.
and work hard, right?
Yeah.
Stay focused, but give yourself grace and never ever compare yourself to anyone else,
Mhm.
right? Like I
Mhm.
had friends who we showed up LA about the same time and they just like out the door, just like
Yep.
holy moly, right?
Yep.
I
Yep.
was more like the tortoise that was very, very, very slowly moving towards some kind of finish line. Um, but it's like learning to truly enjoy
Mhm.
the path that we're on,
Yep.
right? Uh, really enjoying it and
Mhm.
not getting caught up in the end results.
Mhm.
Like when I first got in this crazy business, I get an audition, I'd be super happy until I didn't hear anything. Then I'd
Exactly.
be super sad.
Yep.
And then sometimes I'd get an audition, then I get a call back, super excited
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything.
Yep.
And then I'd be super sad. And
Mhm.
then carried all the way through. I get on set for my two lines, and I'm so excited because these two lines are going to change everything. And when this show comes out,
Yep.
casters are kicking my
Yep.
door down,
Yep.
and I
Yep.
tune in with all of my friends and family,
And then
and
it's
I'm not
cut.
in the show.
And then it's cut. Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
I'd be devastated, right? So
Yeah.
I allowed these external factors to dictate my internal feelings. I was just
Mhm.
up and down, up and down.
Yep.
And when I let that go, and I said, you know what? I'm going to have fun and enjoy the journey until
Yep.
the journey for that particular thing ends, and that's it.
Yep.
I'm not going to let it turn into a negative for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I get an audition, I'm going to have fun. If I get a call back, that's going to be fun. If I don't hear anything else, that was just fun. Like I
Yep.
just let it
Yep.
stop there. If I get
Mhm.
I mean, I did a TV show a couple of years ago, and I had a major character in like 4 episodes.
Mhm.
Crazy story, but they cut the entire thing.
The entire thing?
The entire thing. The lead actor on the show, there were some scenes where my character like beats him up, does some things to him that I
Yep.
think he didn't dig it at the end of the day.
Got it.
But whatever.
Yeah.
Now, there was 24 hours where I was very pissed off when I found out
Mhm.
they cut my character from the show.
Mhm.
But then I let it go. I was like, you know
Mhm.
what? I had a
Mhm.
fun audition. I had a fun callback.
Yep.
I had a really fun shoot.
Mhm.
Like there were all these wonderful, joyful moments along the way. The fact that this journey ended before my scenes appeared on screen
Yeah.
shouldn't take away the joy that led me to where it led me to.
Totally.
Um, so those are the big things for me that I wish I had known,
Mhm.
but I didn't know. And it unfortunately took me a long, long time to figure those things out.
I
Uh,
co-sign on all of those. That is excellent advice. Truly
yeah.
excellent advice.
All right.
Well,
Well, Maddie McCormick, it was, as always, delightful to talk to you. I am so thankful that you shared your
Oh.
thoughts, your advice with again, I've got a lot of you know, actors kind of at various levels of their career. A lot of folks who are kind of on the newer side of things. And I think it's very helpful to hear from an actor who A is extraordinarily successful, is also very kind and an actor's actor, to be able to share your information and your and a little bit of your journey with them is I think it's important for them to see it, and I am very appreciative that you did it.
Oh, well, thank you. And thank you for having me. It's so amazing that you do this and that you have this, you use your platform to help other people get started. That's incredible. So thank you for having me. And I mean, I'm learning from you. So thank you for, I learn from you every day on set. So I'm very, very grateful to have met you and to get to do this. So thanks.
Well, this is my very first interview, so it's usually, like I said, me yapping by myself. So this was fun. This was way more fun than me yapping to myself on camera.